Okay, so I'd like to ask you a question. What do these people have in common? Eleanor Roosevelt, Erin Brockovich, Richard Branson, Leonardo da Vinci, Winston Churchill, Albert Einstein, John Lennon. All these people we think of as great people, all these people we think of in some way as geniuses, what do they have in common? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you as you're watching this video, but the answer is that they were dyslexic. Okay, well, first of all, let's just ask the question, how do we know they were dyslexic? And how do we know that, for instance, Mozart was probably dyslexic? We don't do brain scans and we can't see what their brain is like. Well, the truth is we don't do brain scans on most people with dyslexia. When I was certified as being dyslexic, no one put me through a CT scanner. That doesn't happen like that. What you do to find out that somebody's dyslexic is you look at how they operate in the world. You look at the way they write. You find evidence of how they read. You look at how they think. Do they have an eccentric, slightly creative way of thinking? You look at all these lots of different pieces of information, and there's tons of different pieces of information, and you build a picture of whether they're dyslexic. Okay, that's what happened to me. It's what happens to a lot of people. We build a picture of whether somebody's dyslexic. And with many famous people, the picture we build is quite a big picture because we know a lot about them. And this is why we can say that somebody like Leonardo da Vinci was dyslexic. It's not just because we're trying to collect clever people and say, oh, they're like us, they're dyslexic. That's not what we're trying to do. We're looking at the way they lived in their lives, the way they behaved. Now, what's really interesting about this is that people with dyslexia, it's not a coincidence that these people I listed, Einstein, Erin Brockovich, Leonardo da Vinci, it's not a coincidence that these people are intelligent people. Actually, you cannot be certified as dyslexic if you've got a noticeably lower than average IQ. Dyslexia can be comorbid with other conditions, and these things can interfere with the dyslexia recognition, the dyslexia certification. Dyslexia itself doesn't make you less intelligent. And so people who've got dyslexia, people who are certified as dyslexic, they are at least averagely intelligent, and probably more. Now, what we now realize from this is that you've got a number of people with dyslexia who are at least averagely intelligent, who've been failed by the education system. People who will write for a job and even say, look, I'm dyslexic, when they write off for a job, and they will be rejected because maybe their CV doesn't look good or their covering letter doesn't look good. Imagine if someone like Leonardo da Vinci had written for a job in your organization and you'd said, oh, I don't like his handwriting. Or if Albert Einstein had written for a job in your organization and your response was, well, yeah, but his CV is a little bit chaotic. I won't choose that person. Imagine if you'd done that. Imagine the damage you could have done to your company. Imagine the damage we are doing to our company. 15% of the world has got dyslexia in some form or another, depending on the statistics you read. And these people are not below average intelligence. These people are at least average intelligence. There have been legal cases where people have written off for jobs saying, I'm dyslexic. And the people who've looked at their applications, the recruitment departments, have not taken that into account and rejected them from their jobs. They've been then taken to court and the dyslexic plaintiff has won. I do work on legal case studies in dyslexia, and you will find that actually, if you don't take someone's dyslexia into account, you're breaking the law. Clearly you are. But when we have dyslexic people in our organizations, we have people who are at least of average intelligence and above average intelligence. We have people who are very creative. We have people who are extraordinarily good at what we want them to do. People like Richard Branson, people like Winston Churchill, people like Eleanor Roosevelt, the first lady of American politics. She changed American politics, revolutionized it. And these are the people we want in our organizations. And if our attitude to people in our organizations is, oh, their handwriting's messy, or they didn't do their administration forms as neatly as they could have done their administration forms, we don't want them in our organization, then we lose an awful lot of potential. Not only do we harm these people and alienate these people, but what we do is we harm our own organizations. We alienate our own organizations. We fail ourselves. And so the trick is to search out those people with dyslexia, because we know that they're intelligent and we know that they're creative. The problem that we've often had in the past is that instead of searching them out, We've alienated them by demanding that they live life the way that neurotypical people live life. And that is the wrong way of going about it. If you've ever experienced this, please comment. If you know someone who's experienced it, please share. But please please get into the conversation, and hopefully we can spread the word. Thank you very much indeed. Till next time.